Hi, my name is Nick Nason. I'm an immigration lawyer and owner of Edgewater Legal, a law firm specialising in UK immigration law. Today we're going to look at how to set up your eVisa, and we're going to take you through this process step by step and to see what it looks like in the ID app. We're also going to look at how to update your eVisa once it's set up. So very briefly, what is an eVisa? So an eVisa is an electronic record of your immigration status. And when you've completed the process and have logged into your UKVI account, it should look something like this. You can see at the bottom of the online status page, you can generate a share code, which you can share with, for example, an employer if you're showing that you've got the right to work in the UK, and which gives them access to the online record of your status. And if you scroll down the same online eVisa status page, it explains the immigration status of the holder, including the conditions of any immigration permission, such as, for example, limitations on right to work. So an absolutely key point is that this new system of proving your immigration status replaces physical documents, such as the BRP on your screen, up here, or ink stamps or vignette stickers in your passport, which is an example here, from 31st of December 2024. And so from the 1st of January 2025, anyone seeking to view or prove their immigration status will need to have this set up. In terms of who exactly needs to set up this eVisa right now, basically anyone with a BRP, which is the document looking like this, should be setting up their eVisas now. We're recording this in late September 2024. The Home Office initially asked only those who had received emails or text messages to create their eVisa accounts. However, this has been expanded to include all BRP holders from August 2024, so you don't need to have received an invitation to set up your eVisa. At the time of recording, again, September 2024, holders of other physical immigration documents such as passports containing ink stamps or vignette visa stickers will need to follow these instructions before setting up their eVisa accounts. And we're going to be providing further resources for people in this position on our website. Okay, so what we're going to do now is take you through the online process to set up the eVisa itself. And before we do, it's important to appreciate that there are actually two steps involved in this process, which is first to set up a UKVI account, and then after that to link your eVisa to it. And so once the UKVI account is set up, that's basically where the eVisa will kind of live. And a quick note, based on the case study that we're about to get into, we partially set up the account some months ago. So the setup process for the UKVI account in this video may be slightly different to the one in your case. And the general idea of this presentation is to give you an idea, a kind of a sense of what the process looks like before doing it yourself, and is based on the experience with our case study, which might not be the same as yours. So you can see that we've navigated to the relevant page on gov.uk to complete the application, and it provides a summary of the process. And it confirms if you don't have a UKVI account, you're going to need to create this, and it lists what you're going to need before you start the process here. So as well as being an immigration lawyer, I'm also married to Nicole, a US national who needs to set up her eVisa, and which we're going to use as a case study. You want to say hello, Nicole?
Hi!
So have you got your passport?
I have my passport.
Can I have that?
Yes.
Thanks. Do you have a BRP?
I do.
Okay, great. Thanks. I'll give you a shout when I need you. Okay, so we're going to go through this process now. And the answer to the question, have you ever had a biometric residence permit, is yes. We've got it here. And do you still have it? The answer is yes. And is it valid? Yes, it's valid like all BRPs will normally say at the moment. It expires on the 31st of December 2024, even though it's someone with indefinite leave to remain or settled status. So we're going to say yes to that as well. And so it takes us through to the place where you create the UKVI account. And so we're going to proceed with creating the account here. We're going to say that we're creating it for someone else, so I'm creating it for Nicole. And both me and Nicole will have access to the account if I tick this box here. So you see you've got these other options as well. But we're going to do both of us. So we just enter names in here. It should obviously be the same as in your passports. And country of nationality. And we're going to opt for the passport, which is the document we're going to use to set up this account. And I'm going to enter the passport details here, in which I'm just going to pause the recording for a second whilst I do that. Once you've set up your UKVI account, it will then ask you to link your eVisa to your account. So we just press continue, and we can review our form here, and it will have some questions here of that you need to complete, which will take you through the identity check, confirming these details about your application reference from your previous application or your BRP, location, contact preferences, some account security questions, and then the submission. So we're going to go through the identity check first. And this is where we then have to go through the UK Immigration ID Check app, and which is an app that you can download from your phone, and which we're going to I'll now transfer over to a phone to show you how to do that. Okay, so you've got your phone here, and the first thing you're going to need to do is go to the, this is an iPhone, so you can go to the App Store to download the app. So when you go into the App Store, if you search UK Immigration ID Check, then the app is this one, and it should come up. It's the one with the extremely low 1.6 stars out of 5 rating, for reasons which we'll understand as we go. So once you've downloaded that, you should be able to open it. It will look like this. And then the first thing it's going to ask is how you're going to connect the app in your phone to the application that you're doing online. And so it's got two ways. One is with a QR code, one is with connection code. You can see here that I'm using the QR code. And once it's connected, the first thing it's going to ask you to do is take a scan of the passport, the ID document that you're using. And then the second thing it's going to ask you to do, which is the place where I imagine most people are going to find challenges, and which we certainly found presented a challenge, was that it's going to ask you to connect the app with your ID document. So as you can see, it's giving you an example of how to do that on the screen there, where essentially you have to kind of move the two of them together. And then eventually what should happen is that the app in your phone will read the chip that's in the ID document. So you can see that that's kind of the movement that we were trying. And eventually it did work, but it took probably 5 or 6 minutes of trying to work out how to do it. And what we found worked for us is that I basically Googled for US passports where the chip was held. So on the picture, it's saying you should basically just do it from the top. That's what the picture says. But in reality, the chip in US passports, apparently, according to Google, is in the back page. So when we tried doing that movement on the back page, that's when we had success. Nicole did suggest that perhaps if we sang the national anthem as we were doing it, it might increase our chances of it working, but I think the Googling where the chip is in whatever the passport is that you've got is probably a better bet. So once you've done that bit, that's kind of I think the trickiest part of this and the thing that most people are going to find challenging. You're then doing a biometric scan of your face, which you can see in here.
Yeah, that was weird.
With feedback, and that's what it looks like on the app. You get a kind of little light show into your face, and that was fine. And then the final part of the process is to take an actual photo, which is going to be used on your eVisa. So it gives you guidance on exactly how that's got to look and the guidance. So obviously we got it against a plain background, trying to look as kind of formal as possible. It'll give you the opportunity to decide if you don't like your photo. So Nick didn't like it, so she took a new one. And then we ended up with this one, which is the one that you've got on the eVisa. And then the last thing is to confirm the information that was drawn from the document, which you scanned at the beginning, and just to confirm that that's correct and it's going to be submitted. And then that's it. It gives you kind of a little indication of what to do next, which is essentially to complete the rest of the eVisa application. So this isn't the end of the whole process, it's just the end of the confirmation of identity, but this is by far and away the most involved part of the process, which I think most people are going to find most tricky. And so once you have submitted the information via the app, you should be able to log back into your account and then continue here. And you'll see that the confirmation of your identity here has been completed. So then you just go through the rest of the form to complete it. Do you know your biometric residence number? Yes. So we're just going to add that in. Okay. And then location in the UK. Contact preferences. We're going to use the email address that we're also using to sign in, and the phone number here as well. There are then some account security questions which we're going to just take a pause in the video, complete, and then come back for data protection reasons. So we've completed the account security questions, and then we come into a declaration, and it asks for you to confirm it's all correct. I'm submitting this on behalf of Nicole, so I'm entering that. And then it comes to the final bit, which is to submit. So let's submit. And it says that once you've done this, we'll use this information to record your immigration status and link your eVisa to your account. We'll email you when the eVisa is ready to review, so you might not be able to see it straight away. And use the contact details provided if we need to submit any more information. Okay, fine. Confirm and submit. Okay, so we should be getting an email once it's ready. Finish and leave service. So we're going to briefly look at how to update your eVisa now that we've set it up. And this will be really important to remember to do, especially if you're getting a new passport. So to log in to update your details, you can go to this address here, or just search update your UKVI account details. You should get to a page that looks something like this. To sign in, you're going to be asked some security questions. These are the questions that we were asked, but they might be different in your case. And you can see at the time of recording, there are 3 sections you can update, starting with your personal details section. And you can see at the bottom the place where you can add or update a passport. You can also update your contact details and also your sign-in details, and also this is where you'd add a helper to your account if you wanted to. Okay, before I let you go, there are some links to further information and resources which we will put in the notes below the video, or a link to our website, a page where we'll put these links, and which may be useful if you're looking for further information or support on eVisas. But that's the end. I hope it's been useful for anyone watching. Please like and subscribe to our channel if you found this useful, and share it with anyone who you think might need to set up an eVisa in the next 2 or 3 months or after that. Thanks.